A quick warning, this episode contains references to domestic abuse and trauma. Please listen with care. Ha! I picked you up from the gutter. Don't you dare forget that. I own you. Whispers in the wind. Hello and welcome to Whispers in the Wind, a podcast where your story has a voice. What you just heard was a glimpse in today's episode, a story about happiness, but not the kind that comes easily. Today, we meet my good friend Faith. She entered marriage full of hope and love, only to find herself trapped in a life she didn't choose, one filled with control, fear, and survival. From a childhood that mirrored Cinderella's to a marriage where Prince Charming never showed up, Faith had to fight her way out through pain, bruises, and blades, and build a life of her own. This is a story about reclaiming power, about redefining happiness. This is Faith's story. Tell me, where does your story start?
I'll say it started when I got married in 2005, moved to the UK same year. So that's about 19, 20 years ago. Moving to the UK, we moved in with my ex-husband. Initially, everything seemed fine. He was a student studying engineering.
What kind of engineering?
Civil.
And what were you doing at this time?
I was working as a support worker in a mental health hospital.
How was it working with mental health patients?
I did psychology degree in Nigeria.
Okay.
So obviously coming to a new country, you have to, adapt. And I felt that would be my starting point, to get a job within mental health.
Okay, so you studied in Nigeria. So am I right in assuming most of your childhood was in Nigeria as well?
Oh, yes. I came here when I was 27 years old.
Talk to me about childhood. Now, in this season, we're actually talking about happiness. So I've always understood that when you're a child, happiness is very different. It's very, very innocent. It's the small things that make you happy, as well as big things. What was happiness for you during your childhood, and how was your childhood?
Childhood was mixed emotions because I remember a certain aspects of my childhood. So I'm the fifth child. I'm out of 8 children.
Wow.
So first of all, 6 of us, our mom passed away. So our father had to marry again. Okay. So he married our stepmom when I was about 2.5 when our mom passed away.
Okay.
So I didn't really know who she was. So our father then remarried because we're all young. Now, so we married our stepmom and then, she had 2 girls. So altogether we're 8. So growing up, mainly we felt more close to our father because he was like trying to balance us and with his new wife and then with my little siblings as well. So childhood was kind of mixed emotions because my older siblings I struggled the most really to accept our stepmom, but it was myself and maybe my younger brother and maybe a few of my older ones tried their best to bond with our stepmom. But in the end we just realized that your biological mother is your biological mother and your biological father remains your biological father. So I believe in that principle. I mean, everybody's different, I guess. A lot of times you adopt children, you give them all the love and care, which you will give to anyone. And I think I have that kind of frame of mind that I'll treat anybody. I want to treat anybody different, whether they're my kids or adopted or step kids. I'll still show them the same love. But everybody's different. But we had different experience. So sometimes it was sad, really, because I would have to go to my father for everything, basically, And then when our father struggled, he struggled through to train all of us in primary school, secondary school in Nigeria, and the university as well.
So you were very close to your father?
Yes, we're all close to him. I mean, we're all because we will always go to him because we couldn't really go to our stepmom for anything really. I mean, we knew she was there, but she didn't really give us that open arm that we anticipated for. So our father will always take time, visit us in boarding school. Will always take us out, to places. So we really, we had a very good relationship with him. Just sadly, he passed away.
So, did he just recently pass away?
No, long. He passed away a long time, 2004.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So just at the time when he was just beginning to reap the fruit of his labor, that was when he was just plucked out of the earth. Yeah.
My condolences. So your tale seems to be very similar to Cinderella in a way. Would you say having a stepmother for you was how they are depicted in movies and TV shows and everything else?
I'll say to an extent, really, because, my siblings, my half-siblings, I love them to bits, and you wouldn't know they're my half-siblings because we're very close. Yes, I am the closest to them out of all my, all the rest of my siblings. Yeah, so, I was the one that literally carried them. We call it like carrying someone, like from when they were babies. So I was literally the one that took care of them from when they were born until they so I would always take them to school, bring them back from school, things like from nursery school, bring them back.
But were you one of the eldest or were you one of the youngest?
No, I was the youngest, yeah.
You were the youngest, but you were taking care of them as a mother? That's interesting, actually. Okay, so you always kind of had a maternal instinct to you?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, interesting. Okay, so I want to know, so you are originally from, I believe, Owerri, Nigeria.
I grew up in Owerri originally, so Nigeria has multiple tribes, multiple states, and so I'm from the Igbo tribe.
Okay, so talk to me about the Igbo tribe then, because I believe your first marriage happened in Nigeria.
The court and the traditional, yes.
Okay. Talk to me about that.
Okay, so obviously the traditional one was just like the introduction because we didn't do like a full-blown traditional one that you see on TV. So we just did like the basic one. So I remember then, have you heard of youth service?
Youth service?
Whereby when you finish from university in Nigeria, precisely, you'd have to go somewhere to train, like to serve your father's land for a year. So you go to like a totally different state, different from yours, from where you come from. So I went over to the northern part of Nigeria, which is the Muslim side of Nigeria.
Oh, really? Okay.
So you will do that for 1 year as a graduate. Yeah.
Interesting. So, I bet you're wondering just how did Faith and her husband meet?
We met in church, yeah. We met in church.
So you two met in church?
Yeah. But there was no courtship, there was no dating, basically. Yeah.
So how did you...
So we just always met in church, or sometimes he would just, pop into our house and then, but there was really no proper, getting to know me, I getting to know her, no.
Nope. In fact, Faith's tribe, the Igbo tribe, have a tradition called knock on the door, or iku aka nazo, where the man expresses his interest in the woman. It's a light-hearted but important ritual, as marriage and family matters are deeply tied to the community. During this time, the groom's family brings symbolic gifts to the bride's family. Kola nuts for life and respect, palm wine for sweetness, yams for fertility, cash to show readiness to contribute, and clothes to honor family ties. Each of these gifts is a promise. Here's the thing. In this story, 2 of these promises will be broken.
I knew back then that he was living with his parents anyway, which was okay, living with his parents. And then she didn't even have the money to, to literally pay anything in terms of coming to do the knock on the door. So I kind of said to him, I think I've got I can assist in any little way I could. So, which I did as well. Because then my father had retired, so, he couldn't afford to do anything. But then being a youth copper, I was earning some little money, which also helped as well.
Were the families involved a lot? Because I know in sort of Nigeria times, the family gets heavily involved in marriage.
I still love his family to tomorrow. Yeah, his mom is amazing, the most amazing person ever. The best mother-in-law any woman would ask for. She was very good.
What was actually so good about her? How did you get along
she would just embrace you like her own. She just showed you love. She was always, the same way she showed love to her own children, the same way she will show love to you as well. So she's a lovely woman till tomorrow. Yeah, so I bonded with his family basically, and
What were some of the core memories you had with them?
I would often like go to on the weekend, stay a few nights, like just weekend, one night, so, and then go back to my father's house as well. Yeah, because we lived nowhere anyway. Yeah, that was where we lived. Yeah.
Okay. What do you remember? What were the happy memories you had living there?
Just the company, and we just cook together. Tidy up things together.
Okay.
Chat a little bit, chat about life. And yeah, and then so it was really nothing much apart from always just family and church, and maybe any other little job opportunity you have going on for you back then. Yeah.
Would you say, because you've sort of been raised with a stepmother, you've also had your relationship with your mother-in-law, would you say both of them are really big maternal figures for you in your life, or not?
I'll say, obviously, to an extent, yes. The time that we had a good relationship with her, yes. Obviously, she's still alive, so I'm still in touch with her.
With your stepmom?
Stepmom, yeah,
okay.
yeah. She's here. She's in the UK now. Yeah, in Oxford, my little sister. And my ex-mother-in-law, also, yes, she was a very good mother figure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she was.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you found your husband at the church. You met him there, and he would come to your family gatherings. You'd meet them. What? And then I take it. You both sort of liked each other.
Yeah.
Who proposed to who?
Obviously, it will always be the man. That's like a.
Did you tell him propose to me now? Or?
Oh no, not at all. No. I think that like you go to church, you meet people and they kind of meet you, and then you can see they kind of showing interest towards you, and then you kind of succumb to that as well.
Yeah.
Because I was 21 years old when he began to come.
21.
Yes, that was when I finished my first degree.
Okay, yeah.
And then that was when he was coming. Yeah, I was just succumb because, I think, but a lot of times you think you know what true love is, but I believe then I believe the marriage was for life. I never had any plan to, for the marriage to end one day, really and truly, and that's the truth.
When you first met him, what were your initial thoughts?
When I first met him, I always thought he's, dark, handsome, good-looking, man. I mean, I could say physical appearance-wise, he was okay. And then I was just hoping that he would have the one day he would, I didn't marry him for money because he had nothing. I was, when I met him, he was still living in his parents' house, so he had nothing. So I was just hoping that one day he'll be the kind of person that'll have a drive to be better in himself.
So you wanted him to be...
Oh yeah, to be the best he can be,
Did he have that drive?
I mean, he couldn't finish up his degree back in Nigeria. He was doing engineering in Nigeria.
Yeah.
In one of the universities, well-known universities. So he couldn't complete the training. So then he was only able to do that when he came over to UK to start afresh, really, at the age of, in his late 40s, really.
Late 40s? How old was he when he...
I mean, he was 11 years older than me, 11, 12.
11 years older than
Yes, I'll say in his late into 40s, so he was about 41, yeah. When he was coming from my hand money, I remember he was 38 or 39 then, yeah, I remember that.
Okay.
He was around 38, 39 years old when he married me, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so 39 years old when he married you. Okay, so, interesting. Did you not... I mean, were you okay with the age gap, or?
That really bothered me because obviously back home, everyone is, it's normal for you to marry someone much older than you.
Okay. Would you say you were happy with your life at this point? At this point,
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Oh, so then you married him. What was married life like in the beginning? Talk me through that.
Beginning was okay. Go to church on Sundays, then weekdays working.
This was in Nigeria, right?
No. We didn't live as a couple in Nigeria, as a married couple.
Okay, you didn't?
No, it wasn't here.
So you got married over there and then came here?
We just did when you do introduction, you're still living in your father's house. You don't move into your husband. I mean, everybody's different, but because I'm from a Christian family,
yeah,
the proper marriage is the church marriage, really. So you can't just move into your husband's house after a traditional marriage.
Okay.
So we only kind of moved in together after I moved.
Did you actually wedding here then?
Yeah, white church within in Forest Gate. Yeah.
Oh really? Not far. Okay.
So quite local. The Anglican church there. Yeah, Church of England.
Okay, so when you got married here and you came here, how was marriage life? Was it good? Was it?
It was until I basically, like I said, stopped paying my wages into his bank account.
Right,
I
so-
became his arch enemy, right? Because I stopped paying my monthly, salary into his account. That was when I became the wicked, wife. Yeah.
Interesting. So actually, about that, I was going to ask. So you previously mentioned the fact that he was a civil engineer back home, and did he have any aspirations, or I mean, how did you two support each other? I mean, I know you just said you were basically paying him and helping him, but was it just a one-way sort of commitment?
I mean, in that context, we were living together as a house, as a family, basically. And he would go to school, I'll go to work, waiting for him to finish his course, because I also had my own education aspiration too.
I was going to say, yeah. What were you studying for?
No, I wasn't studying until he was in his final year, and I've been saying to him, I want to go and do nursing, and he felt I was competing with him.
In education?
Yeah, he thought he just thought I was competing with him. I said to him, you're finishing your engineering now. I need to go and register and do my own nursing, because I don't want to be a support worker all my life. I want to move on and be like a proper nurse. Yeah, but yeah, ever since, everything just went haywire. So he felt like I wasn't listening to him. But meanwhile, anyway, before things went haywire anyway, he wouldn't want me, for example, to speak to his family members. He wouldn't want me to spend time with them, So I always felt like my life had to be guided by his choices and his own decisions. So I would only speak to who he wants me to speak to, and not who I want to speak to.
So he really controlled your life?
Yeah. Sometimes when we visited the siblings, he want me to sit, where he is. If he's in the living room, he want me to sit there with him. I have to be, basically, otherwise he'll get angry after we leave their houses. Yeah.
So, okay, I mean, but you had free will. You could have just said, well, no, I don't want to. I mean, what would happen if you refused?
I didn't want him to batter me, to beat me up or anything like that. Yeah.
If you don't mind me asking, could you give me an instance when this might have happened?
I remember, a few times, just a normal conversation in the house, just nobody else in the house. Enough space, you can spread your wings and stay anywhere you want to stay. But when he's talking to me, back then, he will literally come right in my face like this. Literally at the end of my note, and he tells me, that I own you, I own you, you have to listen to me. So I said to him, I'm sorry, can I have my own little personal space? I need that space. He was like, I own you, my property, I made you, I picked you up from the gutter. I'm like, what gutter did you pick me up from?
He owns you and he picked you up from the gutter.
Ray brought you to the UK. I'm like, okay. I guess he brought me to the UK, but the honest truth is I've actually paid my GST, right? All these years you've been studying and not working and everything.
And all this hostile behaviour was because
I stopped paying my wages. He just felt, I changed, basically. Meanwhile, when I was busy working and he was studying, I believe he wasn't smoking. He was smoking cigarettes and even cannabis behind me.
Okay, he was smoking cannabis behind you.
Yeah, he was smoking, and he would deny whatever he was smoking. And then if you don't see like signs of things, because I've never smoked all my life, I don't even know what cannabis smells like even till now. Yeah. But sometimes I see like little sticks of cigarettes, something like this, like cigarette like that in the car or in the house, someone randomly, and they tell me, they belong to my friends, or my friends, I gave someone the ride and they dropped it off in the car. That was, I kind of believed the story, not until the end I had evidence. And then on occasions as well, meanwhile when he was studying full time, right, and I was working full time, and then the landline phone bill came in, and the bill, I could do whole landline, I could just see the same number, a mobile number, literally, like on the BT landline, literally the same number took up all the minutes and all the time, so all the hours.
Okay.
On the bill.
Yeah.
So I said to him, how come this same number is showing up on the bill? This same number taking up all this time. Who is this person?
Yeah.
And in the end, he denied. He can lie. He can lie like there's no tomorrow. He can lie. He's a big liar. And if he's telling lies, you will believe him. So he would lie anyway. So I rang that number, And a female voice answered. I said to him, I'm sorry, who are you? I think you've been, talking to my husband. You've been using my landline, which I'm actually paying for, and talking to my husband. And the lady immediately hung up the phone. So I think, yeah. I think in the end, I think it could have been one of the ladies that works in a local brothel in Upton Park. Heaven knows. But yeah, that was my suspicion. But anyway.
So he was cheating on you?
Yes, and I didn't even know. And yeah, but then he was pointing the finger at me that I was the one that was cheating. He would
he will say to you, you're cheating, but he's cheating himself.
A lot of times on several occasions, yes.
What was some of these occasions?
So one day, it was his, like he graduated from the university after he finished his course. And we went to like a local restaurant to do like a party, which was a graduation party for him. And then he said to everyone that he's got an announcement to make. Like, if your husband's not here, I have an announcement to make. Meanwhile, you've been behind him, supporting him to finish his course. But thinking, maybe he wants to say thank you for his wife for standing by his side, for, helping out the way she could to get for him to get to where he got to. Then he goes, my wife is having an affair.
He just calls it out there and then, saying, my wife's having an affair, just in front of everyone, on his celebration meal.
It was a small gathering anyway, in a local restaurant.
Did he say it as a joke?
No, he was quite serious, yeah. And even one of his friends, who supposedly was a so-called pastor friend of his. Meanwhile, so, when you work in mental health, you work with a lot of colleagues of yours.
Yeah.
So I had like a few colleagues of mine male colleagues of mine. They just saw me as a big sister, just saw me as a role model, really. But then he would like, any man I spoke to, even my own male cousins, when they rang me, he'll say to me, who are you talking to? And all that. So, yeah, so he just thought wrong, basically. And I said to him, listen, you're actually driving me to go and think of having an affair if you accuse me of having an affair. Because then I was not having... Nothing like that. Nothing had even crossed my mind.
I'm surprised you said this, because considering, obviously, during the time you said he was obviously being physically abusive towards you.
Yes. Or verbally, it was extreme verbal. Literally splashing his saliva all over me.
Why did you take it? I mean, did your perception of your husband not change over time?
I think, like when you come from a tradition of a culture where you feel that you want your marriage to work and you feel, maybe he's going to, because he's not a wicked person, he's a very kind man. I'll say he can give you the last one in his pocket, but his anger, he has no control over his anger. He's just, his anger, he loses control. And then the next moment he will change and start crying like a baby, telling that he's sorry.
So he would do the thing and then say sorry afterwards because he felt guilty about it.
Yes, and that became like a vicious cycle, which I had to break away from, basically.
Interesting.
And that was one of the things that led to, me losing a pregnancy as well because of the stress. And
tell me about that. As you can imagine, Faith didn't want to talk about the loss of her unborn child. Losing a child is never easy, and I'm not going to pretend I understand that kind of pain, especially for a woman. Some might think this was the worst part of Faith's marriage, but sadly, it wasn't. They say the storm hits hardest right before the calm, so stay with us. Let's ride it out together after the break. Welcome back. If you're enjoying this episode, don't forget to hit subscribe and follow the show. We're going to be releasing some more epic stories like this every month. And with that, let's get back into it. Okay. Did you slowly start to lose respect for your husband as the abuse carried on, or did you maintain it? And I don't mean you were disrespectful to him. I just mean, did you start to no longer want to be with the man or start to lose
I
respect?
was scared. Became scared of him because sometimes I'd be coming home and he would lock the door. He wouldn't let me in. He'd be asking me, "Oh, where are you coming from?" I'm sorry, I'm coming from work.
Whilst you're outside?
Yes, or he will ring work and ask work, "Oh, where is she at? Where is she at work?" Or sometimes he'll just that sees my car key, or sometimes he'll just yeah, or even sees my NHS work badge as well. Yeah, he sees that, and I'll look for it everywhere. Like the smart card you used to log in, he'll just see, he'll just
which
take
you
it.
need.
I'll look everywhere. I wouldn't find it. Mm.
He would hide your work permit, and then when you go out, come back, he wouldn't let you in the house.
Yeah,
The work badge, sorry, and
my car key.
your car keys, just to make sure you could not work. All
Yes,
from,
yeah.
I assume, from the perspective of just not wanting you to
Oh
work.
yeah, that was at the time I had to use public transport to go to work because I couldn't find my car key, and I was late for work, obviously.
Really? Okay, yeah, because one thing I do understand, I think in African tradition, the wives a lot of times do a lot of the housework as well, don't they?
Oh yeah, that's normal. Yeah,
So you would have that.
I'm used to doing housework, so housework don't mean nothing to me. It's part of
You're a big homemaker.
yeah, because growing up with my stepmom, kind of made me to do more housework really from the early days. So yeah, housework. I enjoy doing housework. I enjoy cooking. So that wasn't the issue at all.
I see, I see. She tells me the housework wasn't the issue. She was used to it. Raised in a home where love didn't always look soft, where duty often came before care, she'd learned early how to endure. And maybe that's what made the rest easier to ignore. Because when responsibility is what you're taught love looks like, sometimes the harm hides in plain sight. After this short break, we will discover the true tipping point that made Faith finally leave her husband and get the life she lives now. Welcome back. If you're enjoying this episode, don't forget to hit subscribe and follow the show. We're going to be releasing some more epic stories like this every month. And with that, let's get back into it. Okay, what was because you've talked, you went through the abuse, you sort of fell out of love with him, I think. What was the most difficult moment in your marriage, and how did it affect you emotionally?
Oh yeah, once upon a time, yeah, he did brandish a knife, yes, at me, right to my face. That knife experience was one of the ones that made me to say this is it now. That was the one when I moved out finally. Yeah, that was the final time I moved out of the house. Asking for divorce, divorced in 2016. Yeah.
Could you take me to that moment? How did it happen?
I think my brother rang from Nigeria. I was on the phone to my older brother. His name is Namdi, and he rang, and then on the phone to him. Then he was asking me. My other ex-husband was asking me, "Oh, who are you on the phone to?" I said it was my brother, and then he became very abusive, yelling, screaming, shouting, for whatever reason. And then next thing, it just became his verbal abuse had become numb to me. So the physical was like
You were so used to verbal abuse, right?
absolutely. So the physical was like So that knife, it wasn't quite new. Sometimes he would just beat me up a few times, like even in the open spaces, he just beat me up on the road
What, in public?
in the public Upton Park. There was a time we're just walking down, and we're just going. I think we're going out actually, and then just on the road, unprovoked, he literally landed a very big slap on just over my eyes, and I still can't see properly from my left eye till today.
He blinded you from your left eye, basically.
Yeah, I could see like twinkling little stars, and ever since I've got like a.
And you were still with him during this time, even after?
Oh yeah.
Why? Why did you want to be with this guy even during this time?
I guess when people say, that's why you call marriage. You have to,
You want to be loyal.
Yeah, still be there thinking that, maybe it's going to work out. Maybe he'll change. But he will never change anymore. All I can say to any woman out there, once a man starts to lay their hands on you, there will be a recurrence. It won't be the end. It will become a pattern. So the earlier you.
Likewise for guys who experience that with women. I think any partner that lays a hand on you.
Any man or woman can experience abuse, absolutely. Yeah.
Any partner that lays a hand on you, just know.
I agree, yeah.
Because they don't respect your boundaries then. Okay. So, after him brandishing the knife, you decided to leave, didn't you?
I had to leave when he wasn't around.
So you waited to make sure he wasn't home, and then you left. Fair enough.
Packed all my things with the speed of light, and I left. It was a build-up of the whole thing. It was a build-up because it didn't happen. It happened for 11 years. I tried to move out 3 times. So 11 years. So it's a build-up. I've called the police a few times on him.
You called the police on a few times, and
then they ask me, "Do you want to press charges?" And I say no, and they just leave. So, and then the same thing continues again.
So, when you decided to leave, you said he was no longer at home. You waited for him to go. When you decided to leave and you left, what steps did you do? I mean, how did you feel? You left. How did you actually feel?
Oh, God, I was happy.
You're happy?
I felt liberated. I felt so at peace with myself. I'm like, I can't believe I've been going through this all these years.
Was that the first time you experienced true happiness?
I'll say yes. Yeah.
In your life?
Yes, a proper, yes.
And you were how old?
Mid-30s.
Well, once you left and you experienced this, how did you start to rebuild your life?
Yeah, I just literally jumped onto one course, finished my BSc in nursing, started working.
Where did you stay?
Oh, I moved. I thought I moved to my own place. I was,
You actually just moved to another place?
So even though I was studying full time, I was still working as well. Yeah. So I was paying my own way through.
Okay. Were you saving for another house during this time, or?
I didn't have no savings.
So how did you afford to get another house during the time, or were you?
That's just from my wages. Yeah.
It's good. I mean, I don't know if you could do that nowadays, but it's good. Okay, interesting. And so you obviously started doing courses, and you started to basically, you started to increase your skill level, I take it, in your chosen career. Okay. And did you, from here, sort of pursue your dreams? What you wanted to become?
Correct, yeah.
Did your dreams ever shift? Because you obviously started to become a nurse. And I'm assuming you actually had achieved that after doing the job.
Correct. I achieved it, and then I could see more prospects because having become a nurse, I felt I just didn't want to become a mental health nurse. I wanted to diversify into other aspects of nursing as well. You
want to be able to be a nurse for majority of things. Okay, because you're in aesthetics now, aren't you?
Yeah. I've been in aesthetics since 2014. Whilst I was in mental health, I was doing aesthetics.
Oh, you're doing both at the same time? Okay. So you really accomplished a lot now. You've accomplished a lot. So, right. Now, this is obviously, I guess, your sort of happy ending. Because you've come out, you've managed to get your degrees, and I take it you're sort of living life on your terms.
Correct? Yes, yeah.
And you're actually quite happy at this point.
Yeah, I am.
Now, I believe you met your partner.
Yeah. Well, he's good. He's supportive. He doesn't chain me down. He lets me do what I want to do. He motivates me. He pushes me beyond my limits. Really.
So all the qualities
he just tells me just get up and go. Yeah, basically. There's no stopping me. He wouldn't say, don't do this, don't do that. He just go to it.
How did you meet him?
But I bought a salvage car.
Oh, you bought a salvage car?
And I was looking for a body shop to fix the car. Mm-hmm. And then the body shop was in his kind of car.
Right. Okay, that's how you sort of met. How did the relationship blossom? Considering your experience, it'd be very hard to jump back onto that ship. What made you want to jump into it? What made you want to get married again?
I mean, when you see, obviously you're used to someone who is very aggressive verbally, all around aggression. And you meet someone who is the reverse, the opposite. You can tell the difference. I mean, nobody's perfect.
Nobody is.
You're someone you can really talk to without being judged.
What made you realize this new relationship was different and actually made you happy Did the relationship make you happy?
I respect, someone who respects you, someone who doesn't yell at me, doesn't shout at me, doesn't lay a single finger on me. Yeah, someone who I look forward to going home, which was reverse in the past. I used to dread going home, but now I always look forward to going home. So yeah, difference.
Okay. How did achieving your dream career feel? I mean, you've gone to aesthetics.
I wish I could have done more, really, but I think that this is it now. So I've done, obviously, it's aesthetics, and then did my master's degrees, master degree, one, not two, master's degree. So then I was hoping to do medicine. I was hoping to do medicine, but I don't think I've got the brains for medicine. So
Listen,
I was waiting for the apprenticeship doctor program, and then I think the apprenticeship doctor program, they're looking for youngsters. So I'm like, okay, I think maybe this this is it now. I just want to make money now. Yeah.
So you're actually in your dream career and you're enjoying it.
Yeah, I love my job. Yeah, I love helping people. I love I love working.
What has it taught you about happiness? Given your experience, given your past, being able to now achieve your dream. What has the whole journey taught you about happiness? Your happiness?
I think it's, your peace of mind comes first. Your peace of mind. Because you only have one life, right? So you don't let the society we live in, or your culture, your religion, where you come from, or even, to decide your happiness. I would have been dead by now if I was still in my first marriage. I know I would have been gone.
Okay. Looking back, what's been the most joyful moment of your life so far?
Being in my current relationship, really, yeah.
Your current relationship right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Happiest moment of your relationship, your new one. The happiest memory you have, what is it?
I mean, we go away from time to time on vacation, so...
Okay.
Yeah, so those moments have been quite good.
But what's the happiest memory you have that you'll always cherish? Surely you have one.
That's a difficult question, because I've got lots of them.
Okay. Top 3. Top 3, come on, give me top 3.
I think you want to be in a relationship when every day is Christmas. That's how I describe my current relationship.
Every day is Christmas.
Every day, yes. Every day is Christmas.
It's good. Okay. If you could talk to the faith in the first marriage, what would you say to her now?
I say you could have gotten out of that earlier. You could have literally, taken yourself out of that marriage much sooner. In fact, to be honest with you, once you see those red flags, someone who, wouldn't really acknowledge you as a person, who wouldn't really respect you, then just run.
Do you think, had he not brandished the knife at you, you would still be with him?
It's possible, but yeah.
So had he not brandished the knife,
sometimes he'll drag me up the stairs, pulling me by my hair as well. So I think in the end I would have still come to that realization that enough was enough. But I'm glad that I wasn't there to be killed. I didn't die in that marriage. Yeah.
So the last question would be, and I ask this to every guest on my podcast: what's the one message or lesson you'd like to share with our audience about your story? And for this season, about finding true happiness.
Just stay true to your dreams. Stay true to who you are. And stay focused on your goals and life achievement. Yes, it's okay to compromise. When you're in a relationship for the sake of the person you love. But at the same time, don't lose focus of yourself. I still tell myself that every day.
Stay true to yourself. It's good. It's good advice. It's interesting. Thank you for your story. Faith's story reminds us that the life you want is within reach, but only if you're willing to reach for it. As human beings, we crave routine. Structure feels safe. But sometimes that structure traps us in pain. Abuse, physical or emotional, is not something you have to accept. You don't need life to hand you permission to change. You can choose that moment for yourself. It won't always work the first time or the second or even the third. But if you keep pushing, step by step, you will get there. Don't settle in places where you're not happy. Recognize when something's wrong, because the sooner you see it, the sooner you can free yourself. Life is so much more than you realize, and it's far too short to live it in fear. If you or someone you love needs to hear this story, please share it. And remember, danger is real. Love yourself enough to leave it behind. I'm Zafran Ahmed, and this is Whispers in the Wind, giving your story a voice. Thank you for listening.